everyone. Hi. I can just see people are starting to join us now. So I'll just chitty-chatty for a minute or two as people come on and join us. And then in a couple of minutes, we'll make a start. Hope you're all comfortable. The great thing about doing things from the comfort of your own home is we can all sit here, have a cup of tea. I really am at home, so if you hear the cat purring in the background or something like that, don't panic. It's just day-to-day life in the Moore house, really, I guess. So hi everybody as you're coming on. Nice to have you all here. Thanks so much for booking your slot. It's great to have so many people interested in the trek. I'm hoping that this evening is going to answer a few questions for you. Hi, lots of people joining us now. That's great. Real good timekeepers. Awesome. So you won't have to sit and look at my mug all evening. I have some lovely slides and pictures all about the trek for you, but I just thought I'd come on first and say hello. We are live this evening. So I just thought I would show my face before we make a start. So let's get going. It's great to have you all here. The webinar this evening is all about the mountain trek retreat that we run for International Women's Day. So hopefully that's why you're here, to find out a little bit more about that. As I've just said, I can see a couple more people have joined us. You won't be sitting looking at my face all evening. I've got some lovely slides and pictures, but I just thought I'd come on and say hello and introduce myself. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Lottie Moore. I think you can see my name down the bottom there, from Wish Women. I run an organisation that works with women to help grow their self-confidence, self-esteem, take them out of their comfort zone and give them real life-changing, life-enhancing experiences. Now, that doesn't mean to say I'm some kick-ass Wonder Woman either. I just am lucky that I've had the opportunity to take great experiences myself, and I know how impactful that can be. In 2010, I lived in Africa for a while, and having come back from there, I did a Kilimanjaro trek, and it's from that really that the mountain trek retreat has grown. So those people that do know me will know that I'm probably much more comfortable on a mountain than I am on a webinar. So I'm hoping that the technology gods are going to be kind to us this evening, but we are live, so please do bear with me. So let's go over to the presentation for this evening. It'll save you having to look at my lovely mush. You can instead have a look at the slides and pictures that we've put together for you, all about the trek, and just give you a better idea of what we have going on. So hopefully now you can see that coming up for you. I should also say that you probably see a little red button down on the right hand side of your screen. That's a chat button. So if you have any questions that you really want answered this evening, then please do feel free to pop your details into the chat button. I'm going to be running through lots of information to start with, so it might be that I'll cover what you wanted to ask anyway. And then when we get to the end, I'll pick out a few of the most commonly asked questions and cover those. If you still have a burning question that I haven't answered, then please do feel free to email me at lottie@wishwomen.org.uk, or drop me through a little Facebook message. And any questions you have, please do make sure that they're answered and you really know what to expect. So without further ado, let's share a bit more information about our mountain trek retreat. So the trek takes us to the top of Mount Toubkal, also known as Jebel Toubkal. That's in the Atlas Mountains. It's actually in the High Atlas Mountains. It's the highest point of North Africa. Although North Africa, you know, people hear the word Africa and it conjures up images in their heads. It's actually in Morocco. It's 4,160 meters high. That's over 1,000 meters lower than Kilimanjaro, but it's still well above the altitude plateau. So it's a good height, a good challenge, and it's 100% trekkable. And by that, I mean that it's fully walkable from the bottom to the top. So there's no dangling from ropes involved or harnesses or anything like that. It's all completely walkable. And that's what we'll be doing on the mountain. We'll be trekking our way up. So let me tell you a bit more about the outline of the trek and how we go on from day to day. So day one, we arrive in Marrakesh airport, and then we're picked up and we're transferred to Riyadh, where we'll be staying in Marrakesh for the night. Now that we meet at Marrakesh airport, that's because you can often get cheap flights going from local airports to you. For this trek coming up, we already have people booked on coming from Spain, coming from the Channel Islands. So rather than all flying out together, we meet at Marrakesh. Now, we do host a Facebook group where we can all get to know each other. So what's happened in the past is people have tied up and ended up traveling together. But officially, we start at Marrakesh. We go to Riyadh for the evening, where we'll be staying in Marrakesh in the old town. So it's very traditional. And then we have an evening in Marrakesh. So we're quite likely to go into the town, have something to eat, have a drink, and so on that evening. The next morning, it's an early-ish start, but not too early. It's about a 2-hour minibus ride into the mountains. And the minibus leaves us at about 2,200 meters. And we're dropped off there. That's where we meet our Moroccan team, and then we spend an afternoon trekking in the mountains, and what we'll be doing is undulating a little bit, so between about 2,200 meters and 2,500 meters. That just gives our bodies a chance to acclimatize slowly to any altitude, lessening the kind of possibilities of altitude sickness, and just gets our legs moving. You know, you start to form muscle memory then the next day. We spend the night in a bunkhouse in the mountains. We've got some more information coming up in a minute about accommodation and what the different accommodations are like and what you can expect. The next day, again, an early-ish start, and it's a day of trekking through the mountains, again, undulating, a lot of it at about 2,500 meters. We can literally walk all day and not see another group. So that's absolutely fantastic to have that kind of scenery and everything going on. And then towards the end of the day, we have a steeper walk up the Kasbah de Toubkal. And we arrive at our bunkhouse again for the evening. Similar accommodation throughout the trek, apart from the night at base camp. So then day 4, we're going up a little bit higher. We'll be going up gradually to about 3,500 meters. Again, a beautiful day walking in the mountains. And that evening, we'll arrive not too late at our base camp. It's called the Nelta Shelter. It's a wonderful building, quite bizarre to look at, but it has roaring fires. I've got some pictures later on of the bedrooms and what they look like, but quite incredible, really, quite incredible place. And then an early night after a good meal, and an early start for day 5. So we'll be getting up about 5 o'clock in the morning. We have some breakfast. We get ourselves all ready with our kit on, and it's the day of the summit, really. So quite steep. It can be quite challenging. The summit, I guess, is what it's all about for many people. The mountain is completely trekkable, but if there's snow underfoot, which there's quite likely to be, it will be a case of having crampons and an ice axe to help you just get a good grip, really. To be using the ice axe more like walking poles than pulling yourself up. But an amazing experience, really. I should just point out as well that the crampons and the ice axes, etc., are included in the price. They're provided for us by our Moroccan team. So equipment like that, you don't need to worry about. It will be given to us when we're there, ready for use. So it's all about the summit. 5 to 6 hours to get up to the top of the mountain. It's about 700-meter gain in altitude as we go. And it's, as you start going up, the air gets a bit thinner, so it takes a bit longer than normal. So about 5 to 6 hours. And finally, you get to stand at the rooftop of North Africa mid-morning. What an amazing experience to have made it to the top. And then we turn around and we come down. Unfortunately, what goes up must come down. And we go down as far as base camp, have a drink and something to eat, and then down further to our bunkhouse for the night, which can mean about 12 hours trekking throughout that day. So that's quite a long day, definitely tiring, definitely challenging, but a great sense of elation to even attempt something like that. It just leaves you with a brilliant buzz. And then day 6, it's our last little bit of walking, and everyone's kind of going, oh, not far to go. We've about an hour and a half walk, depending on where our bunkhouse has been. And then we're greeted by our minibus. That's when we say goodbye to our Moroccan team that will have been with us the whole time on the mountain. So fond farewells then. They look after us very well on the mountain. I've got some more information about that in a minute. So it's fond farewells, onto the minibus, back to a riad. It may be the same riad as we were in before, hopefully, but it would be again in the old town in Morocco. Go back, have a chill out, a mint tea, a shower, and then we all head out to an old Moroccan palace, actually. Beautiful, beautiful building. And we have our celebratory dinner. And it's a great time to really be able to celebrate our achievements and what we've created as a team. You know, it's a great evening out, a great way to spend time with company that you've got to know so well over the days. And then day 7 is transferred to the airport, basically after a bit of breakfast, and time to fly home. However, having said that, previous years, people have decided that they wanted to stay on for an extra day. So that's something, again, as a group, we can chat about in our private Facebook group. And then anybody that wants to stay on for an extra day or two, you can either let me know in advance, and then we can get our Moroccan team to arrange all that for you so that you're staying in the same riad, etc. You haven't got to be moving around. We can easily arrange that for you for an extra night or two. And of course, if our Moroccan team do it for you, you probably get a slightly better price. Though I think maybe about £30 for a night in a riad. So not bad at all. So it may be that you want to extend your stay, as I say, in which case we can help make that possible for you. So why would you want to do this? It sounds pretty tough, huh? Or quite a challenge. Well, it is. It's a physical challenge. The first 3 days, you know, trekking in the mountains, you're undulating a little bit, and there's a little bit of gain of altitude, but it's not a huge physical challenge. You know, if you're out walking locally, hiking, then really quite doable. It's an emotional challenge, I think, especially for women. Maybe if you're going away and leaving the family, it's a challenge to invest in yourself. And I think something that a lot of people, particularly women, struggle with is to take that time out for themselves, and to really take that energy to connect with themselves and other people. I know for myself that it's the times that I've taken myself out of real life for a few days and done something completely different that have been really transformational, you know, giving me a time to reflect on everything. And so the emotional gains and challenges of a trek like that is quite incredible. So that's great, really. So yes, fantastic. I'm just getting a couple of Facebook messages from people saying that they can't get into the webinar. So I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to be sending a link through to them now. If that's you, if you can't hear it, I'm very, very sorry. You should be in and rocking and rolling now. Let's just double check that. Can you hear me, everybody? I wonder. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? I hope I'm not talking to myself. Let's just see what's happening here. Well, that's interesting. Let's keep going, and if at the end people haven't been able to get in, then I can forward the link on to get people able to sign up for that. So why climb a mountain? Well, also to meet like-minded women. Hopefully it's an opportunity to connect with people, and really meet people that have the same ideas as you and the same goals as you, and are ready to step out of their comfort zone and grasp life and really meet challenges head on. So, you know, what a great opportunity. I wish it was something that had come to me maybe more often. And you really go away from these things as friends for life. I think the private Facebook group really, really helps, because on the run up, any fears that you've got, you know, you'll find that everybody else has the same worries as you. And that it, you know, to connect like that, it's a great thing. It's also you know, for me, like when I did Kilimanjaro, I consider those people my family. We call each other the Kili fam. And we're still, that was 2011, we're still having reunions and get-togethers now. Overcoming barriers. You know, if you can get to the top of a mountain, what can't you do? There's a little quote up there on the screen from Karen, who came with us a couple of years ago. And she wrote this on a blog that I wrote about fear. And she wrote, "Since coming back from Toubkal, every time I feel afraid and think, can I really do this? The answer is always, hell yes, I have climbed a mountain." And I guess it's a great physical metaphor, isn't it, for overcoming anything in your life. Summiting a mountain, there's not much more of an achievement than that. Incredible experience. And also, it's the ultimate in mindfulness, as far as I'm concerned. You know, when you get on that mountain, after half a day's walking and you're getting into the swing of things, it's quite amazing when you've got nothing else to worry about other than just putting one foot in front of the other. You've got exceptional company, you've got exceptional scenery, and it really helps you put things in perspective and get on top of everything. So ultimate in mindfulness, as far as I'm concerned. And beyond anything else, it's an adventure of a lifetime. It's quite an incredible experience. Yeah, right from the minute, to be honest, right from the minute when you sign up and say, yes, I'm going to do this, you're stepping into a whole new realm of excitement and adventure. Yeah, because your mind suddenly starts working, thinking about the mountain all the time. You know, you see something come up on telly about mountains, you think, oh, I'm going to watch that. Or, you know, and, you know, you start looking at the kit other people are wearing, and dog walking takes on a whole new meaning. It really is the adventure of a lifetime from the second you sign up right through to years after the climb. It's something that will be singing in your heart, really. So why go with Wish? You could just head over to Morocco tomorrow, find somebody in the foothills of the mountain, and they take you up to the top. So why climb with Wish? Well, it is about that connecting to me. It's about that building of tribe. So you're meeting like-minded women, and we also have the private Facebook group before the trek. So it gives you a real opportunity to get to know each other and really connect at a deeper level. We go in small supportive groups. So there's no way, Jose, I'm taking 30 people up the mountain. Numbers are capped, and that just ensures that everybody gets the support that they need. We do a group training day, which again is all about getting to know each other and really making sure that we're all fit enough, helping each other, getting to know each other a bit better. We have a kit training day, so there's advice on kit. There's also reduced cost kit, and where possible, we enable you to hire kit as well, rather than having to shell out loads of money. And very unusual for these treks, we take a UK guide with us. So we don't just have the Moroccan team, we have a UK guide, be the same guide that we have on our training day. So we've already got to meet each other, and they'll be coming out with us and staying with us throughout the whole trip. So what's included in the trek? What do you get for your money? Well, the cost is £850 with a £225 deposit. As you may well know, there's a little special offer coming up a little bit later in the webinar, so please do keep your eyes peeled. But that's the overall cost at the moment. So as soon as you pay your deposit, what happens is you get added into that private Facebook group, which gives you the opportunity to meet your trek mates. We then also have a kit training session. Now, at the moment, we haven't decided whether we're going to do that physically or we're going to do it like we're doing today, and we'll have a webinar type of thing. We've already got people booked in from Spain and from the Channel Islands for this trek. So it might be that that will work better online than face-to-face, but we'll see what happens. You also get kit discount, so we've sorted that out for you, so you get a little bit of money off anything that you're hiring, and possibly some purchases as well, which is brilliant. You get your transfers to and from the airport in Morocco, so that's already all covered, and we normally have a minibus or something like that that will take us all together. You have your transfers to the mountain. So that's when you to and from the mountain as well gets us there. Again, probably the same minibus, but we'll all travel together. You have all your food and drink, apart from the dinner on the first evening in Marrakesh, which probably come in £7 or £8 tops, really, for a dinner like that. And you know, for the drinks, you can use the boiled water or tap water with the sterilising tablets, but we find that most people buy bottled water. More information about that in a minute, but you may want to do that. It's entirely up to you. You have on the mountain a Moroccan trek leader and a full Moroccan mountain team. So that means we have muliers and mules that carry all our kit and so on for us. So no big heavy bags to carry on the mountain. You will have to carry a day pack every day where you'd have your water, maybe some waterproofs, some snacks, bits and pieces like that. But your main kit bag, your sleeping bag, and all the food and everything is taken by the muliers and the mules up for us, so we don't have to worry about that. The price also includes your celebratory dinner at the Old Moroccan Palace. That's all included in the price. And of course, our UK trek leaders coming with us, not just for the 17-mile training day, but they actually come out to Morocco with us, which is quite unusual for these trips. So what's not included in the cost? Well, your flights are not included in the cost. If people are flying from different airports, then it's very difficult for us to include flights, really. So you will need to book your own flights. Both times I've been, it's been less than £100, about £90. So if you allow £100 for your return flights, then you're probably well covered for that. Some travel insurance policies, if you already have travel insurance, some policies don't cover you for going up to the type of altitudes we're going to be going to. So you would need to check that out. But if you need a travel insurance policy to cover you for while we're away, then it'll be roughly £32. Now, I think we used a company called Snowcard before, but again, in the private Facebook group, this is the type of thing that we can be chatting about, finding out who's using what company, who's got what quotes, so that we can all get good prices on that. Your other costs might be if you need to hire some kit or purchase some kit. Got some more information about your kit in a minute, but it should, should you need to get any bits and pieces, then that's obviously additional cost. As I already said, your first night dinner in Marrakesh, roughly £10, probably a bit less than that. And then your spending money, I would say £100 spending money. If you're not staying on for an extra night, £100 spending money is ample, really. You'll need money for tips. It's a tipping culture in Morocco, so everybody gets a tip for anything they're assisting you with. And, that's the kind of ethos I take as well. The people there work very hard to support us. So if you're the type of person that's sitting there thinking, I don't do tips, then I'll be honest, this probably isn't the trek for you. We do tip. Bottled water you might want to buy as well, as I said, and maybe some souvenirs, knickknacks for yourself, for your family, whatever. £100 spending money would do it. If you wanted to have a hammam, like a sauna and a massage, then you might need a bit more. That's going to kind of come in at about £30 or so. So £100 would cover you for basic spending money. If you're staying on an extra night, you might want £150, £200 if you want to have some few drinks. Alcohol is not widely available in Marrakesh and therefore not that cheap. Not hugely expensive, but you'd have to allow money for that as well. So where do we stay? Well, when we're in Marrakesh, we're in the riads in the old town. These vary a little bit, but we always stay in nice, good quality ones. So you might well have a sun terrace. There'll be plenty of mint tea, nice comfy rooms, clean, tidy, showers, etc. What you would expect from a reasonable kind of bed and breakfast over here, really. So no swimming pool. We're not in a 5-star kind of resort type hotel. We're in a real traditional Marrakesh riad. And then on the mountain, we stay in bunkhouses. They're fairly basic, either a very simple bed or just mattresses on the floor. Often having to share rooms with each other. You might have 3 or 4 people in a room. Most of them have showers. They all have flushing toilets. A couple we stayed in previously have had the hammams, the way you can go for a sauna, Now, when we've looked, we've chosen not to use the hammam on the mountains, I have to be honest. But the bunkhouses are generally clean and tidy and, you know, but good basic accommodation. And then on the last night on the mountain at base camp, we're in the Nelta shelter. Now, the bedrooms there are slightly bizarre. It's one big bunk bed that goes the whole way around the edge of the room. So you can see in the picture there that everybody's just lined up next to each other. But it's good basic accommodation. It's warm. Downstairs there's a big roaring fire. We get a lovely cooked meal. And so, yeah, accommodation is good. There's no camping, no kind of pooing in a hole in the accommodation anyway. When you're on the mountain, maybe that's a different kettle of fish. But where we stay is always nice, clean, tidy, basic but good accommodation. What do we eat? Well, we're cooked for the whole time, which is great. So we have plenty of mint tea in Morocco. Everywhere you go, every time you stop, they want to give you a mint tea. Breakfasts and dinners will be had in the bunkhouse, and they're normally produced by either the bunkhouse or our Moroccan team. And then on the mountain every day, the Moroccan team and the Muliers go ahead of us, and halfway through the day, you miraculously fall upon this kind of laid out table with padded seating and everything in the middle of nowhere, a tablecloth full of cooked food again. You can see in that picture there, top right, that's Mohammed dishing up lunch for us, and an amazing mixture. It's good kind of like tagine, traditional Moroccan food, yummy. And then there's also snacks provided on the mountain, kind of nuts, dried fruits. You might want to take some Percy pigs or some fruit pastels with you, or some chocolates, something like that. But we do get some great food provided, so that's really good stuff for us. So, kit. What do you need and what do you don't need? Well, it's really difficult for me to tell you what kit you're going to need to get. Some people might already have just about everything needed. Other people might be starting from scratch, really, and needing more kit. So I would say the important things are that you want to be warm and comfortable. Down near the bottom of the mountain, it could be quite hot and sunny, kind of 70 degrees in Marrakesh, 21 Celsius. But then as you go up, it's going to get cooler. You also want to be safe, so you want to have reasonable quality kit, and you want to be thinking about weight as well. You know, you've got to carry your day bag, but the mules have got to carry your kit bag, and so we will have a weight limit. So everything is based around those 4 principles. I would say that you want to be warm, comfortable, safe, and lightweight. You should own, so you should have for yourself some walking boots, and the walking boots have to be fairly rigid soled because they're taking the crampons, so they can have a little bit of give in them, but they need to be fairly rigid walking boots. You need waterproofs, good quality waterproofs, not a £5 Spacamac, something that's breathable and waterproof. For when it's getting colder, you'll need a reasonable base layer. Lots of people buy merino wool base layers. I'd highly recommend those. But you need something, long johns and a t-shirt that you can wear under your kit and maybe in bed as well. Hats and gloves, for obvious reasons, as it's getting colder, those extremities need looking after. And then you need sportswear. So, you know, if you're already a hiker or a runner, you're unlikely to need to go out and buy loads of new sportswear. It should be that you have a lot already, or that you know people that you can borrow it off. Yeah, a lot of my kit's quite old, but I stick with it. But then I know other people that go out and they buy the seam-free everything and this, that, and the other. So it's really a thing of personal choice as well with the kit. You know, how high-tech you want to go. Our UK trek leaders will give you all the advice you need to make sure you've got stuff of the quality you need without, you know, spending a fortune. Oh, and you probably also want a water bladder for in your day bag. So that's one of the like a camelback type thing. You put the bag of water in your day bag, and then the tube comes over your shoulder, so you're not having to worry about water bottles all the time. Other stuff you'll also need, now it might be that you want to buy it, it might be that you've already got it. If not, these are things that we can help you with renting, so you can get them you know, without the outlay. If you think it's only, you know, you're only ever going to use it this once, then you might want to hire these rather than buying them. So things like walking poles, a day sack that you can carry with you, a 4-season sleeping bag. It's going to be cold, so you need a good quality sleeping bag. And the same with your jacket, really, a down or kind of artificial like Primaloft jacket to keep you nice and warm. Head torch for getting around, particularly on that last day as we head for the summit. A head torch is pretty essential. And a kit bag for taking your kit in. It's got to be a good quality kit bag that's waterproof and is going to look after your gear. The mules will be carrying it and it will be well looked after, but the last thing you need is to arrive at your bunkhouse for the night to find out that every single bit of clothing you own is wet. So again, a good quality kit bag. But beyond that, you know, what kit you decide to use is up to you. And as I say, whether you decide to buy new stuff or borrow stuff off people or whatever, again, it's up to you, really. You could go out and spend a lot of money on kit. You could also go and spend next to nothing. So it depends on the individual, what they would want to get and what they would be happy to borrow or use what they've already got. How fit do you need to be? This is a question I get asked quite a lot. It's really difficult to say. You know, I know some people that have done next to no training that have made it to the top of Tube Cow. I know some people that have trained quite hard and have really, really struggled. I would say you need to be of average fitness or above. So by that, I mean, you know, you need to be in fairly good shape, already out, maybe just walking, you know, if you walk regularly, if you already do some running, or if you go to something like Pilates or Zumba, whatever, you'll make it no problem for the mountain, really. If you're not at that level of fitness, you've got a long time to go. So you've got time to start stepping it up. Exercises that you'd want to look at doing on the run up to the mountain would be working your legs. So doing some walking, you know, if you like going out walking, try tackling some hills. And running, you know, if you can run 10k, that's a great marker, I would say. You know, just doing that bit of cardiac, getting your heart racing a bit. And your core, you'd need to be working as well, really, for the summit. You've really got to dig deep on the summit. So things like Pilates, yoga would give you a great head start with stuff like that. And of course, we have our training day included in the cost. And that's a 17-mile hilly walk. And that will give you a great idea of what's coming up on the mountain. And I would say that, you know, if you can complete the training day, you've got no problem completing the mountain. The training day is challenging and hard, but it gives you a good idea of, you know, what, when you're tired and you're digging deep, how you can go. And the training day is always great fun. But also, you know, if you do the training day and your legs are like hurting like billy-o the next day, then you know that you probably need to do a little bit more work before heading for the mountain. And you've still got that 2 or 3 months after the training day to be able to fit that in. So the training day is a great indicator for you as to how you're getting on, really. So I hope that's helpful for fitness. It is really difficult to say. Everybody's different. But you need to be a bit fit anyway. So I said at the beginning and on the emails, etc., that I was going to be doing a special offer. And here it is, really. I guess you can already guess with the mountain price, it's already priced at a really good price. I keep the price of this trek down as much as I possibly can. I believe that everybody has a right to take part in an experience like this. I believe that it has so much to offer that I want it to be accessible to as many people as possible. So I can't drop the price hugely, but I know that summer's coming up, and you know, lots of financial commitments, school holidays, etc., all coming up. So I think it'd be great to start pulling the team together now. We've already got some people booked on. It is limited spaces, so it'd be great to start filling the team up, start getting people on that Facebook group. So what I'm saying is that I'll drop the amount that you pay for your deposit. So if you book by the end of next week, that's the 22nd of July, you just pay an £89 deposit rather than the £225. You keep that money for yourself through the summer holidays, just an £89 deposit. The rest of your deposit then becomes due 14th of September. So that will be £136 on the 14th of September. And then your final payment by the 1st of February will just be £600. So that's giving you £25 off the total cost. On top of that, I know that some of you, if you know me at all, will know that I have my book on pre-launch at the moment, so we haven't had the official launch yet. So I will throw in a free copy of my book pre-launch and signed from me. And after the trek as well, we'll do a one-to-one coaching session. These treks can change lives. You know, I've seen it happen, and it can lead to a lot of questions for you. You know, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's happening in life? So what I would do is offer you a one-to-one session for after the trek. Maybe leave it for a few weeks after you've had time to assimilate back into real life. So if that's of interest to you, there's a link there on the page. So you can just copy and paste that into your browser. You might be even able to click on it. I'm not sure. I'm amazed I can click on it here, but I don't know if that's because the presentation is on my computer. But if not, copy and paste that into your browser and you'll get a lovely PayPal link come up. You pay £89 deposit, and then nothing else is due through the summer. Just the £136 then on the 14th of September. So we've got some more questions been coming through. Questions, lots of questions actually. Okay, there's a good question here from Claire. Claire says, is it safe? You know what, hearing the name Claire just made me think as well that I should say a huge thank you to Claire from Claire West Photography. She came out with us a couple of years ago on the trek, and all the wonderful pictures that you've seen on the presentation are thanks to Claire. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Claire. Brilliant pictures. Very talented photographer. She also does all my headshots and things like that for my social media. So would recommend her hugely. But back to other Claire here. Her question is it safe? It's a good question. You know, nothing is 100% safe. You know, crossing the road is not 100% safe, but I have to say that safety is pretty much our number one priority. You know, for me, number one priority. That's why we take the UK Trek Leaders. It's also why I work with a full group of professionals out in Morocco. You know, the people of the mountains are lovely, and we're very far removed from the hustle and bustle of Morocco. And it's really important to me to work with a professional team like that are dedicated to supporting you to get to the top of the mountain. Nothing else. That is what they're there for. So yes, very safe from that perspective in Morocco. What else would you be worried about? Ebola. Ebola is in West Africa, so we're in North Africa. There is still some Ebola about, I believe, but it definitely hasn't made it anywhere near North Africa. Definitely not in Morocco. So fully safe there. And then for the mountain, You know, on the summit, we keep everybody safe. So if you get 3/4 of the way up and we feel that you're not going to get to the top, or you feel you're not going to get to the top, then you come down. And some people think that sounds a bit harsh, but actually safety is important. And the trek is so beautiful and wonderful in the days coming up to the summit that the summit is maybe the icing on the cake, but it's not the be all and end all. When I did Mount Kilimanjaro, I didn't make it to the top. And it, you know, but I know that I made the right decision that was safe for my family. You know, I was getting altitude sickness on Kilimanjaro. It's quite a bit higher than Toubkal, and I felt that it was right not to go any further. And it will be the same for us. You know, if you're pushing yourself too hard or the altitude is getting to you, then safety will be a #1 priority. What will happen then is probably the UK trek leader would take you down, so the others continue up. We had a couple of years ago about a 50% success rate, and I felt that we were being rushed on the summit, and I felt that that had maybe led to some people not making it as far as maybe they could have. And then we found out the next day that later, the day that we'd been, you know, that evening, the whole of base camp and the summit had been evacuated. They'd cleared everybody out because of a massive blizzard that had come in. So we worked with professional guides. They knew what the weather forecast was, and they'd done what was necessary to make sure that our company was safe. So that's what it's all about to me, really. It's all about staying safe the whole time. So it's as safe as we can possibly make it, Claire. Yes, definitely. A good question from Julie. Julie says, none of my friends will come with me. Can I still come? Yes, Julie, of course you can. That's the whole idea of the trek. We know that this type of thing doesn't appeal to everybody. So it's a great opportunity. That's why we do the Facebook group and everything else. A great opportunity to get to know other people. So don't worry about knowing other people or not knowing other people. You just come along, sign up. We'll make sure that we get you connected with the other women. If there's, you know, other women going in your area, then you can potentially start to meet up for walks, dog walks, whatever, cup of tea, sticky bun, whatever takes your fancy. You can absolutely come on your own. It's really not about being with friends. It's about making new friends. So that's a great one, isn't it? A question from Sue here. Sue, yes. When or what is International Women's Day? What a doofus. I didn't put that in the presentation. Well, International Women's Day, it's a day recognised internationally, funny enough, celebrating all and everything about women. It is growing here in the UK. I think this year was a much bigger thing. When I lived in West Africa, it was a really big thing. So it was a bank holiday, and the women did no work. They sat with their feet up all day, and the men waited on them. There was a very special fabric made, so everybody would get their clothes made out of that fabric to celebrate International Women's Day. A really, really big deal. And it's on the 8th of March. So our summit day will be the 8th of March. So the dates of the trek, which I should have put on the presentation, I apologise, that's really a bit daft of me. The dates of the trek are the 4th to the 10th of March. So that's when it is, really. Any other questions? Lots of questions coming in, kind of going over stuff that I've said about what's included and what's not included. I'll be sending out a copy of this for a replay. So if you need to remind yourself of anything, then you can do that. You just can click on and watch it through this, click through the slides. If you still, if you've seen it on the presentation here and you're still wondering, I'm just not 100% sure about that, do drop me a line. You can email me at lottie@wishwomen.co.uk. or ping me a Facebook message. Look me up on Facebook, send me a friend request on Facebook if you like, whatever. Let's connect. Any questions you have, let's get them answered. As I say, I know we're kind of running a bit later. I was hoping for 40 minutes, we're now on 50. I'm sorry about that. That offer stands until the 22nd of July. So it stands until the end of next week. If everybody that's on the webinar now decides to book, we'll go over our numbers. So if you are sitting there thinking it's for you, then do get your place booked. If you're sitting there thinking it's not for me, it sounds too challenging, or, you know, my goodness, how would I sleep on mattress on the floor? That's fine. It's not the right experience for everybody. But if you're sitting there thinking, I really want to do this, you know, I guarantee you the experience of a lifetime. Get yourself booked on, get yourself in a position where you're, you know, connecting with the other women, and let's get that energy really lifting up. And I'm sure that we're just going to have a blast, to be honest. What a great experience, what a great to do, and how great are you to be sitting there considering it now. That's awesome. So I've gone really over time, haven't I? I am sorry. I know that it's your evening, so I will sign off. For those people, there's a couple of people that have messaged me on Facebook saying that they couldn't get on. I'm really sorry. I don't know why. I will make sure that the link goes out to everybody that was signed on, and then you'll be able to watch this. So I'll get that to you tomorrow, and you'll see what you've missed. I can see that there's several people watching, so I'm not quite sure why that is. I do apologise, and as I say, I'm not a technology genius, so I'm really, really sorry. I'm going to leave you now. Just to give you a look at that link one more time. If you do want to book, wishwomen.org.uk/webinar-discount-2cow-deposit. But if you do want to book and you lose the link or you have more questions, get in touch. We'll get everything sorted for you, and we'll get you on your way to an epic adventure. So that's it for this evening. I hope you've really gained a lot from there, and I will see you soon.